Let's be honest for a second. The Scream franchise might be in one of the most controversial moments in the entire history. Fans are divided. The studio made a massive decision, and the future of Ghostface may come down to just two characters. On one side, you have the original legend, Sidney Prescott, and on the other side, you have the new generation survivor, Sam Carpenter. One built the franchise from the ground up, while the other was supposed to carry it into the future. But after everything that's happened behind the scenes, the real question now is simple. Does the Scream franchise actually need more than what they have currently? First, we have to talk about one of the greatest final girls in horror, Sidney Prescott. Portrayed by Neve Campbell, Sidney has survived Ghostface attacks across 5 different films: Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4, and Scream 5. That's 5 separate Ghostface killing sprees and multiple killers, yet Sidney is still standing. What makes Sidney such a legendary character isn't just the fact she survived, it's how she evolved. In the first movie, she's scared, confused, and just trying to stay alive. But as the series goes on, she becomes stronger, smarter, and more fearless. By the later films, Sidney isn't just surviving Ghostface anymore, she's hunting him. For almost 30 years, Sidney Prescott has been the emotional core of the franchise, and many fans, if Sidney isn't involved, it doesn't feel like Scream. Then in 2022, the franchise tried something new with the introduction of Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera. Sam survived in Scream with one of the biggest twists in the franchise has ever delivered. She's the daughter of the original Ghostface killer, Billy Loomis. That revelation instantly changed the tone of the story. For the first time ever, the main character wasn't just running from Ghostface, she was directly connected to him. Sam constantly struggles with the fear that the same darkness that existed in Billy might exist in her too. By the time we reach Scream 6, we see a completely different type of final girl. Sam doesn't just survive her encounters with Ghostface, she absolutely destroys him. Her kills are brutal, aggressive, and almost unsettling, which made her one of the most unique protagonists the franchise has ever seen. Some fans loved this darker direction, while other fans felt like it pushed the franchise too far away from what made Scream special. But then everything changed behind the scenes in 2023. Melissa Barrera was removed from the franchise after a controversial social media post related to the Israel-Palestine conflict. The reaction was immediate and intense. Some fans supported the studio's decisions, while others felt furious and led to boycotts of future films. Suddenly, the character who was supposed to lead the next generation of Scream movies was gone. Just like that, the storyline built around Sam Carpenter and the so-called Core 4 collapsed overnight. Not long after the controversy, another major announcement was made. Neve Campbell would officially return as Sidney Prescott in Scream 7, and once again, the internet exploded the debate. Some fans celebrated the return of the franchise's most iconic character, believing Sidney's presence would bring back this series to its roots. Others argued that the studio was panic resetting the franchise and relying heavily on nostalgia instead of continuing the new storyline that they had already been set up. This is where the debate really gets interesting. Sidney Prescott represents the legacy of Scream. She's the character who helped build the franchise and the final girl that horror fans grew up with. But Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera, represented a future and a darker, more complicated protagonist who was directly connected to the origins of Ghostface. Sidney represents the past and identity of the series, while Sam was meant to represent the evolution. The honest truth is this: Sidney Prescott will always be the heart of Scream. She's one of the greatest final girls in horror history, and the franchise owes much of its success to her character. But at the same time, a franchise can't survive forever on nostalgia alone. Eventually, new characters have to take over and push the story forward. Sam Carpenter was supposed to be that character, but after everything that happened behind the scenes, that future might never fully happen the way we originally planned it. So now the question goes to you. If you had to choose, who does the Scream franchise actually need more? Sidney Prescott or Sam Carpenter? And do you think that bringing Sidney back in Scream 7 was the right move, or did the franchise just abandon its future? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm your Hellmaster Dede, and I'll see you Hellcats and Hellhounds in the next one. Peace.